guys, welcome back to another Ask the Roofer video. I'm here with my good friend Antonio Patino. We were with Coldwell Bankers from the tag. So real estate agent in Charlotte market. You've actually been doing this a lot longer than I realized. So back from 2006, you said?
Yeah.
You've been 2006. In this market through the crazy ups and downs that we dealt with. So definitely been around for a while and definitely seen a lot of different phases in the market, and you know our area very well. I wanted to see what are some tips, because right now we're in a seller's market still. This is August in 2018. We've been in a seller's market for a minute. What are some tips you have, especially like specific to the bubble we're in right now, for buyers and sellers, of like how to, if you're selling, get the best out of your home. If you're buying, what to look out for. What with your years and years of expertise, like what would you tell people that are in that market?
Yeah, well, like you said, Dave, it's definitely a seller's market. Yep. But with that being said, I know some sellers are going crazy and they think they can ask above
40% above list.
Exactly. So that's where you have to, sit your clients and have a heart-to-heart conversation with them. So what I can give you tips about the sellers on this market now, I can give you 3 things on basically factors that impact the value of your home and factors that do not impact the value of your home, right?
The emotional value, but not the
that's right.
physical value.
Yeah, so one of the factors that definitely will impact the value of your home is the market condition, right? Yeah. Market condition, what are you seeing up there? So like you mentioned, it's a seller's market, so is there a lot of buyers that are desperate to find a home, but there's just low inventory? And I'll touch on that as well. How to do the math on finding out what's the inventory, how many months. Yeah. Another thing that is important is the market, the home's condition. Is your condition, is the home in a great condition? How about the lot size? How about the property size? Yeah. Also the layout. A lot of times you get buyers that say, I want an open space feel, right? So keep that in mind as well. The location is really important, as you always know, right? Location. And then the competition. So what's up there in your neighborhood, around your neighborhood as well, when sometimes you have to go outside your subdivision. Do you see other homes that are similar to your house, and what are their price at? What kind of unique things do they have, upgrades and things like that? So that's really important. So now, factors that do not have an impact on the home's value, you said that right, but I got 3 others, right? So the original price, what you pay for the house, right? So just if you bought it 4 years ago, 5 years ago, even last year, today's market is a different price. It could be more, hopefully it will be more for most of you. It could be less, but that's important to know. So that doesn't matter how much you pay for it. The other one is the needed proceeds after closing. Like how much money do you need to have at the end of the closing? Maybe you're looking to pay some loans or debt, whatever. Unfortunately,
what you need has no impact on what it's worth.
That's right. Fair. Hopefully, you still walk with a lot of money after closing, but keep that in mind as well. And then finally, the opinions of your neighbors and your friends. Somebody always have an opinion, right? They always want to tell you, okay, I think your house is worth this much.
I went on Zillow and then I added 20%. I figured that was the safe bet for what my house was worth.
For your house, you just added 20%. That's good. Well, again, you definitely want to, reach out to an expert, someone that a realtor that can help you with these numbers as well.
And that's what we've talked about a bunch of times, is working with someone who knows their field. Like, I'm not going to try to sell my own house. Yeah. I'm not a real estate agent.
I wouldn't even try to fix my roof, right?
Exactly. So you understand that about certain things in your life. Like, hey, I'm not going to try to fix my car, or I'll fix it up to this point and then I'll take it to a mechanic, or whatever you're trying to do. And I'm not going to try to crack my own back when I can go to a chiropractor.
I want to see you doing that though. How would you do it?
It's funny. So working with somebody who's an expert, and then you can bridge over most of this stuff, because I don't know, but not only do I not know, but I don't know how to figure it out. When you have a new client, you don't know the value of their house, but you know how to properly figure it out to get the seller the best for their transaction. And stuff like good, a really good point you made was your lot size. So I always heard heated square feet, which is important, but your lot size as well, especially in Charlotte, is very important. But stuff like, hey, I just poured a brand new driveway and I fixed my landscaping, aren't as impactful on your value of your house as the amount of square feet you have.
That's true.
So we've worked with people in the past who are like, hey, I want to build this new fence and do this to raise the value of my property. And we're like, you might want to reconsider that, because it might be a great perk of, hey, this buyer's looking for a house with a fenced-in yard.
Yeah.
But that's niching yourself into certain buyers on something that on paper really doesn't add a whole lot of value.
That's true.
So really, really good points. Do you have that kind of covers the seller's side?
Seller, yeah.
Do you have anything for the buyers that are coming into the seller's market?
Yeah, and one more thing before we move into the buyers, because again, you talk about, like, we have a hot market right now,
Yep.
so there's not a lot of inventory. What's one thing? That's one thing. So normally, to have a normal market, you have about 5 to 6 months of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have more than 5 months, then that's definitely a buyer's market. But
Yep.
if you have less than 5, then that's a seller's market,
Gotcha.
right? So keep that in mind. And some people might wonder, how do I do the math to know what is the
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does it even mean? What does it mean? Like, you have 2 months of inventory. So basically what you can do is you can go back 1 month and see how many properties are active in your neighborhood, in your, like I said, subdivision or city,
Yep.
and then divide that by the properties that sold in that last month. So for example, like right now you have 2 homes that are active in your neighborhood,
Yep.
and then on the last month, and then the last month, 10 of them sold. So you have about two months of inventory, which again is low,
Gotcha.
and that's what we see now.
Yeah.
So another thing is like highest and best. Have you heard that? Highest
have
and
not.
best. So, well, because you have multiple offers, right?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people are seeing nowadays. It's just low inventory, a lot of buyers, and they have multiple offers. So some buyers, they're a little bit desperate and they're willing to pay more than the sell price, which is, it's very common to see that.
Yep.
But you have to, as a seller, you have to be very careful that you don't become too greedy, where you're trying to get the highest price.
Yeah.
You're trying to get the highest price, but you have to keep several things in mind. Number one, that's not the whole picture. You have to think about the terms as well. Meaning that you have to check, are they asking for closing cost?
Mm-hmm.
You have to check how soon are they willing to close. Maybe you want to close as soon as possible and they want to wait 45 days. So several things in regards to the term that a real estate agent can definitely advise you on that. And finally, highest and best. Like for example, I can tell you an example. I had a client, I was representing a seller, and we got a nice offer that my client loved what they were offering as a price, but there was a sales contingency. So I said, well, we want to be careful with that. We want to see that, and you have the permission as a real estate agent. We can ask him to see that previous contract for the other house. And when we look at that contract, they also had a sales contingency. So basically what that means is that in order for my client to be able to sell that house, 2 other people needed to sell their homes. So we decided to take $3,000 less, but to go with a safer offer at that point, because it was just
That wasn't contingent.
Yeah, it wasn't contingent upon that. So
Because any of a million things could have changed in either of those 2 transactions. You could have done everything perfectly.
That's right.
And still missed it because of a contingency 2 tiers away.
And that's what I mean. Like, you need to have an expert that is looking at the whole picture.
Yep.
Because just don't go excited about the price, because there's just a lot of details in an offer that you need to be careful
how much
with.
time and energy could you have invested in that for $3,000 more, and the deal still fall into it?
Imagine the seller having to move out of their house because they think that they're ready to close, and then the deal falls through on the other house.
And they still don't have their house.
I don't want that for
crazy.
them. So I try to avoid as many surprises as I can.
Yep. And when you've been doing it for as long as you have, you know how to identify where potential issues could arise from.
That's right.
Yep. Awesome. Anything else you wanted to cover on that subject?
Well, on the seller side, we should be good for now. Obviously, there's a lot of tips that people can give you and things like that. But to me, those are kind of important.
There's the high everything.
That's what I'm seeing lately as well with this market.
Nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had some questions kind of on our end too, like of.
Yeah, I do have some questions for you. So basically, it's very common that a homeowner wants to do a home inspection.
Yep.
Right. So
we kind of be dumb not to at this point.
Yeah. So it's not an obligation, but we always suggest it and we encourage that, right? So, and also it's very typical to see in that inspection report that there's going to be nail pops.
Yep.
That there's some, what I would think is minor issues with the roof, but obviously if you don't do anything about it, it could cause more later on.
Minor maintenance, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that, do you recommend that we get also a second opinion from a roofer like you, and just maybe hopefully be able to see the whole picture, right? Because it's almost, the way I see it, it's almost like people call me to do a CMA, like a comparative market analysis, but I'm not going to compare myself to an appraisal, right? Because that's what they do on a daily basis, all day long. So an inspector, they're great, and they be looking out for several things throughout the house, but you guys specialize on the roofs. So you know exactly what to look for.
So a great question. One thing we've seen a lot in our industry is a lot of inspectors don't get on the roof at all. So there's a lot of really good inspectors, and there are a lot of inspectors that it's their job and they just do what they have to do, and they don't think much of it. So they're more considered with covering their bases. And on so many lines, you're like, hey, I saw this thing on the roof that I took a picture of with an extended zoom lens, and you need to get it checked out by a licensed professional. And so they put that little clause, have it checked out. And we see that more than anything, where they've taken a few pictures of the roof of stuff that there's a bump in the roof. This looks suspicious. So that's not the right word. It's infrequent to see an inspector actually call out legit items on the roof. They'll see things that are suspicious, say, hey, these are suspicious, get them checked out, and then we get called. So yes, they're not on the roof looking at it up close in the areas you can't see from the ground to see age of the roof, because if your roof's gonna have to get changed in 2 years, you need to consider that when you're buying the house. It's really hard to tell from the ground unless you're just amazing at what you do. I can't tell that from the ground. So having someone, like you said, that knows that product, deals with it day in, day out, can get up there, actually get up close to that product and see, hey, is it good, is it not? Here's the hidden thing you couldn't see from the ground that's actually leaking that the homeowners don't even know about yet, because it's just leaking through the soffit and not gotten inside the house. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. We have some agents that just get that on the front end. A lot of them kind of leave it till it's inspected and see what the inspection report says and then suggest it at that point. So yeah, either way, but it's definitely, I know in all of Charlotte, all the inspectors we work with, I know one inspector that actually gets on the roof, and even then he only gets on certain pitches. They won't get on like the really tall or really steep stuff. So
it almost sounds like it's very common that they already know what to look for, but I guess it's maybe the basics. It's just like nail pops, and maybe around the boots and the vents to see if they're properly sealed for water penetration, but maybe not all the other details that you will be able to find.
And a lot of times, even with like the pipe boots and stuff, it'll look dirty from the ground or look old, so they just take a picture. This needs to be checked out, and we'll get up there, it's like perfectly fine. But they called it out because they couldn't get close enough to see whether it was good or not, and they're not going to get up on the roof to check it. So,
and even like you said, like, you know, maybe 2 years down the road they find out that it was a bigger issue. And the way I see it as well is because on average, someone that buys a house stays there in the house for 7 years. So you want to be able to, you know, take care of that as soon as possible before if you can, before you buy the house, because otherwise you're gonna have to deal with it when you're ready to sell. The next buyer is going to be able to see it perhaps and ask you to fix it.
And if it's that close, then you need to get some kind of credit or something like that. Be like, hey, we need to consider in the purchase that, hey, I've got this $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 expense that's coming up in a couple of years.
Look at you, man! You should be a real estate agent as well.
We've written enough letters for that of like, hey, your roof is you're 3 years past its effective life. It's going to have to get changed, and it's got 72 repairs on it. You know, you need to do something about it. So yeah, we definitely see that a lot. And we were talking before we started shooting, and to your point, 9 times out of 10, it's minor maintenance issues, and we do a roof tune-up that will cover all your maintenance and get you caught up, because we see it so often as people buy a house or put a new roof on and they're like, oh, it's a 30-year shingle, that means I don't have to think about it for 30 years, and that's not the case at all. So maintenance gets deferred so often in our area, in our market, that there are some issues that are more accentuated because they weren't addressed. But again, a basic maintenance package gets you up to speed and ready to go for another 3 to 5 years.
I bet you that's like when you buy a car and you feel like you don't have to change the oil change. Change the oil, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I just bought this from the car lot. It's used, but I'm sure they took care of everything. Yeah. Some places do, some places do not.
That's right.
So
that's true.
But knowing at what stage it's in, because like if you get a car and you get maintenance records, and you're like, oh, it was changed a month ago, I know I'm good. But if you get a car and there's no records, like, well, they said they changed it, but I have to take their word. It's better to know and be safe and secure. So
the more you know, the better. The better it is. That's true.
Well, appreciate you coming on and educating us a little bit. And again, thanks guys for watching. We'll link up all your information in the description. So if you're in the market, talk to this guy. What areas do you like? Where's your?
So I'm licensed. I'm a realtor. I'm licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, but I mean, I'm all over the place, but mainly in South Charlotte, Union County, and then just the border of South Carolina as well, Fort Mill,
like Indian Land, Waxhaw. Nice.
Yeah.
So kind of the southeast side of Charlotte.
Yeah. Mainly,
so
yes.
Not in Mooresville too much.
No, I mean, I've gone through Huntersville, but tried to avoid going up all the way up there, especially on 77.
Fact. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again.
Thank you for
Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching this episode. Give it a like. Let us know what you thought in the comments down there. Share it if you feel so inclined. If you really like it, go to our page under follow. Click see first. That way you never miss a video. See it as soon as it comes out. And we'll see you on the next episode.